Good morning, everyone. It is 9 o'clock. We do have a quorum, and I'm going to call the December 27th Board of Supervisors meeting to order. We have Pastor Mitchell Hoback here from Whiffle's First Assemblies of God to do our invocation. Asked him to come up and asked everyone to please stand and remain standing for our pledge. Pastor Hoback.
Amen. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're so thankful, God, for another day here, God, as an opportunity has come to serve you again and to serve the great people of Wythe County, Virginia. Father, we just pray today, God, that everything that is said and done here would point glory to your name, that, God, your will would be done on this earth as it is in heaven. Father, we pray today for wisdom, for guidance, and for your hand to be in all things and all decisions. Let it be for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, welcome. And we have some resolutions to present this morning. So I'm going to ask Ms. Fade to come up. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay. Wythe County Resolution 2019-38, honoring Faye H. Barker. Whereas Faye H. Barker was elected to the position of Wythe County Commissioner of the Revenue on November the 8th, 2011, and began her duties as Commissioner of the Revenue on January the 1st, 2012. And whereas Ms. Barker previously served as a dedicated member of the Commissioner of Revenue office from 1972 to 2011 and was devoted and has devoted countless hours and provided extreme service to the citizens of Wythe County. And whereas Ms. Barker served as Vice President of the Southern District Deputy of the Commissioner of Revenue, and whereas she has overseen the record keeping for numerous of Wythe County ordinances, including the mills tax, land use taxation, the tax exemption for the elderly and handicapped, her office annually assists Wythe County residents in filing state taxes and also assists the Board of Supervisors in preparing revenue projections annually that are used for the drafting the upcoming year's revenue budget. Therefore, be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 27th day of December 2019 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to Ms. Barker for a job well done and does convey its best wishes to her and her family for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, and that a formal copy be given to Faye H. Barker as a token of their highest regards. Adopted this 27th day of December 2019. Entertain a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Congratulations. And thank you for your service. Thank you. Thank you.
Faye, we tried to get you a Tyler Mueller shirt, but
Okay. Mr. Lester, you come forward, please. With County Resolution 2019-39 honoring Charlie G. Lester. Whereas Charlie G. Lester was elected on November the 8th, 2015 by the citizens of Wythe County, West Wiffle District to serve as their representative on the Wythe County Board of Supervisors and beginning serving on January the 1st, 2016. And whereas Supervisor Lester served as a dedicated member of the Board of Supervisors for 4 years, term ending on December the 31st, 2019. And whereas he devoted countless hours to the citizens of Wythe County, serving as a member of various committees and boards, including the following: Budget Committee, Building and Grounds Committee, Recreation Commission Liaison, Treasurer's Office Liaison, Mount Rogers Community Service Board, Mountain Community Action Program, Personnel Committee, Offset Debts Collection Hearing Panel, Town County Committee, Grayson Regional Library Board, and as well as many others during his term on the Board of Supervisors. And whereas Supervisor Lester supported and action were instrumental in obtaining equal funding for the Wythe Grayson Regional Library System, approving funding for $12.25 million George Wythe High School renovation project, providing funding for construction of the Appalachian Regional Exposition Center and future retail sites, providing funding for the Short Creek's wastewater treatment plant, and obtaining funding in excess of almost $13 million for the future construction of the Progress Park interconnection road project. Therefore, be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 27th day of December 2019 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to this outstanding individual for a job well done, and does convey its best wishes to him and his family for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. And further be it resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, and that a framed copy be given to Charlie G. Lester as a token of their high regards. Adopted this 27th day of December 2019. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2019-39.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. President. Thank you for your service. Okay, I'm getting winded. Mr. Hale. Okay. Let me clear my throat and get me a drink of water. Okay. Wythe County Resolution 2019-40 honoring Joe F. Hale. Whereas Joe F. Hale was elected on November the 8th, 2011 by the citizens of Wythe County, Fort Chiswell District to serve as their representative on the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, and beginning service on January the 1st, 2012. And whereas Supervisor Hale has served as a dedicated member of the Board of Supervisors for 2 consecutive 4-year terms ending on December the 31st, 2019. And whereas his leadership and devotion to his work led his fellow members of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors to name him Vice Chairman in 2016, a position he's proudly held for 4 years. And whereas he devoted countless hours to the citizens of Wythe County, serving as a member of various committees and boards, and most recently serving on the following: Apex Construction Committee, Building and Grounds Committee, Chief Elected Official of the New River, Mount Rogers Workforce Investment Board, Clerk of the Circuit Court Liaison, Economic Development Committee, Fire and Rescue Committee, Sheriff's Office Liaison, Personnel Committee, as well as many others during his tenure on the Board of Supervisors. And whereas Supervisor Hill support and actions were instrumental in obtaining the land for the development and funding of the construction of the Appalachian Regional Exposition Center and further retail sites, approving funding for the Rural Retreat Middle School, Sheffield Elementary School, George Wythe High School, renovation project, approving funding for Shorts Creek wastewater treatment plant, serving the Poplar Camp area, extending Wythe County Public Water Service, including extensions to Byron Spring area, and strongly supporting improvements to the Wythe County Fire Department and rescue squads. Therefore, be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 27th day of December 2019 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to the distinguished gentleman for a job well done, and does convey its best wishes to him and his family for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. And be it further resolved, this resolution be entered into official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors, and framed copy be given to Joe F. Hill as a token of their high regards. Adopted this 27th day of December 2019. Entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2019-40.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Hill. Let me step around back here. Congratulations, Joseph.
They may have run out of room in order to put the, Mr. Reed, come on up this way. May have run out of room to put the 11th commandment on there, Mr. Hill.
I figured you wrote it on the back of it.
It may be, you may have to take it apart and see. Oh, it's my honor to present this resolution, and be glad to read this. Wythe County Resolution 2019-41, honoring Timothy A. Reeves Sr. Whereas Timothy A. Reeves Sr. was elected on November 8, 2011 by the citizens of Wythe County as a supervisor at large on the Wythe County Board of Supervisors and began serving January 1st, 2012. And whereas Chairman Reeves served as a dedicated member of the Board of Supervisors for 2 consecutive 4-year terms, ending on December 31st, 2019, and served as chairman from 2014 through 2019. And whereas Chairman Reeves served as Region 12 Director of the Virginia Association of Counties for 2013 to 2018, and was elected to serve as President of the Virginia Association of Counties for 2019. And whereas he devoted countless hours for the citizens of Wythe County, serving as a member of various committees and boards, and most recently serving on the following: the Alcohol Safety Action Program, Apex Construction Committee, Budget Committee, Crossroads Regional Industrial Facility Authority, District 3 Governmental Cooperative, Economic Development Committee, Joint Public Service Authority for Wythe and Blaine Counties, Juvenile Detention Committee, New River Regional Water Authority, New River Valley Criminal Justice Services Board, New River Regional Jail Authority, Social Services Board, Water and Wastewater Committee, as well as many others during his tenure on the Board of Supervisors. And whereas Chairman Reeves' support and actions were instrumental in establishing a consolidated accounting system for the schools, social services, and county departments, securing land and funding for the Appalachian Regional Exposition Center, promoting intergovernmental cooperation with the involvements with the Mount Rogers Planning District Commission and the Virginia Association of Counties, approving millions of dollars in fundings for schools, water, and wastewater projects, improving the infrastructure of Wythe County, and lobbying the General Assembly for the creation of a mixed beverage corridor along Interstates 81 and 77. Now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 27th day of December 2019 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to the well-regarded gentleman for a job well done, and does convey its best wishes to him and his family for continued success, happiness, and good health in the years to come. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Worth County Board of Supervisors, and a framed copy be given to Timothy A. Reeves Sr. as a token of their high regard. Mr. Chairman, I will ask for you to call for a motion, sir.
I have a motion to accept Resolution 2019-41.
I'll make that motion.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy.
Okay. I'd just like to say a few words. I'd like to thank the staff over the past 6 years that I've been chairman for all their hard work and dedication. It's been a pleasure serving with them. We'll move on into our agenda.
Yeah, can I say a word? I'd like to thank all of y'all. You know, it's been 8 years up here. I've learned a lot from you boys. I appreciate it. Mr. Hale, I don't know how I'm gonna act with you gone. You know, sometimes you keep me awake and scare me to death. But you taught me a lot. I have learned that if you ask questions, you'll receive answers. And I thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, Coy. Moving right into our agenda, citizens' time. Ms. Myers?
Yes, just quickly, this is directed at Joe and Tim and Charlie. Sometimes we've agreed and sometimes we have not agreed, but I hope we have remained friends. I recognize your service to our community, and I heartily thank you. Please do not fade away. Your voices are really important. And I have made each of you a little treat for tonight that you put your feet up and you rudiment. I hope that you will enjoy that.
Thank you, Linda.
All right, that's number one. Then, I had a meeting with the elf on the shelf the other night, and he gave me this, and he told me to present it to Brian. This is for all your negativity that you've displayed towards our expo center. However, the flip side to that is that is a resource, and now our facility is also a resource. And I hope you find it within yourself to channel all your hostility into positive efforts and actions to realize the great resource for the benefit of this community. Okay. And-
Maybe I can sell that, help fund it. Thank you.
And the last thing is also Smith County recently, the Smith County Sheriff's Office recently dropped their concealed carry permit fees, and they're offering free chip classes and so on. And I'd asked the remaining board and so on, if we could ask our police department, our sheriff's office, if they would consider that for the new year for the residents. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Litton. Morning, Bob. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Morning to all of you.
And you too,
Hope
Linda.
everybody's good.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
I'm here on the behalf of the Apex Authority. We request the balance of the money in the line item for the bleachers and seating to be appropriated to authority for the express use only of purchasing horse stalls. This money is from the AAEC. No taxpayer money whatsoever is involved. The stalls will be installed in the multi-purpose building for a variety of uses in this complex when completed. In addition, Gary Altizer assisted greatly in locating these stalls at an economical pricing for refurbished stalls. Just like y'all take that under advisement, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Appreciate everybody's service too.
Mr. Bear, how much is left in, that fund?
Looking at Lori's report, there is $26,908.90 currently in the Apex donation and contributions. In addition to that, we had previously moved over $250,000 to the general fund for the purchase of the bleachers, but we only spent $200,000, so there's $50,000 remaining there. So the total from the contribution from the Horsemen's Association now would be $76,908.90 as of the end of November.
And what is the process of us moving that money to the authority?
Basically, you all would need to take action approving the transfer of those funds to the Apex Authority for the purpose of them to purchase horse stalls.
Mr. Litton, could I ask you a couple of questions while we're getting into this?
Yes, sir.
Roughly how many stalls will that purchase for the?
Probably
for the bar?
120. These refurbished stalls are right at $700 per unit.
Have y'all seen these stalls, seen them?
We have not, have you seen a picture, Mr. Johnstone?
We've got pictures, yeah. We checked.
I personally have not.
We checked with Southern States. Southern States' new style is $1,850. So we're trying to spend the money very wisely. And $700. There's a guy that deals in stalls, Fuzzy Mayo, and he has over 1,700 stalls. And we will make sure that we get the very usable stalls for the building.
Okay.
I assume these are metal stalls.
Yes.
They're metal with pads on them. The horse people require
Yeah.
pads, as we all know,
And no holes.
and no holes. Yes, sir.
Does any board member have any questions?
Comment that the barn will generate revenue if you have stalls. So it's like having a truck and not putting a bed on it unless we get the stalls.
Yes, sir.
Comment reinforcing the need for stalls to be there at the opening so you get into the summer and fall equine movement. Everybody knows what I think of horse shows, but if you're gonna do them, you gotta do it right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to amend and appropriate the $76,980.
I would, $76,909, just rounded up.
909, for the purchase of stalls, be amended and appropriated to the Apex Authority. Made a motion, have a second.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught.
Joe, since I didn't get you anything for Christmas, yay.
You're the yay I use with real good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. And I've got to go to Abden, so I don't think I'm gonna be, I really didn't know you was having a meeting today at 12, but I'm gonna have to go to Abden, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to make the meeting. Next, payment of invoices. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second.
second,
Have a motion and a second. Any invoice any board member like to pull out or discuss? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
aye,
The chair votes aye. Next item's minutes of our previous meeting, December the 10th, 2019. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any corrections or changes that need to be made to the minutes? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
Aye.
that,
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Next business is old business. First item is water rates. And I'm gonna table this to the next meeting because Ms. Lawson had some questions that she brought up to me at the last meeting. So I think she needs to be here, so we'll table that. 2020 draft rules of procedure and meeting calendar. Mr. Barr?
That is for informational purposes only going into next year, just letting everyone know that in the proposed meeting calendar.
Okay. Anything else on our old business?
I do not have anything else, Mr. Chairman.
Like, we got a couple things. We don't have on here this time, comments from the district supervisors, and, I'd like for the, minutes to reflect that we've had real successful work with VDOT and improving the secondary road system, and I would encourage the new board that, Carrie works there than stick, maintain the relationship, we get a lot more funding out of them, working with the Bristol, office, Chairman Reeves and I have gone to road meetings all over the state at night, and I highly recommend that the new board spend as much face time with these decision makers as you can. And closing on that, I wish you all well. I also pray for you to have the wisdom of Solomon and the patience of Job, because you're going to need them. It's really a tough job to weigh what you think. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Think it through. But that's the oath you take. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. We'll move into reports. Ms. Gwen, Treasury Report. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hope everyone had a nice Christmas and got everything they asked for, or maybe more than what they asked for, potentially. Kind of depends on which way you look at it, right? Okay, before we get started, Joe, Tim, and Charlie, I'd like to thank you all for your service. Enjoyed working with you over the last 4 years, so don't be strangers. Come back around anytime. I will continue to send you tax tickets, okay? So don't feel like that you'll now be exempt from that.
By the
okay?
way, my
Okay.
wife sent you.
Sure. Okay, well, moving into our financials for the month of November. As you will see on your report, the consolidated account for all funds is at a balance of $58,183,151. And of that balance, the balance that's in the general fund is $38,329,907. So overall, with our consolidated money through all the departments, as noted on there, you do see that we have increased, and I had mentioned when I was here last month that due to our tax collection starting to pick up, that you would see a significant increase, and we're up by almost $8.4 million. Of course, excuse me, this report does not include, of course, December. So I'm not sure if any of you were at our office or had the luxury of driving by our building from December 2nd through the 5th, but we had lines all day and then some. So next month, when we look at the December report, you'll see another significant increase there. But we did get behind on mail simply because every one of us were answering phone calls, waiting on people coming in all 4 of those days. So we've actually, yesterday, coming back in from the Christmas break, we had about 50 pieces of mail that was left from the December 5th postmark that we finally got finished. So we finally gotten through all the on-time mail. I hope between today and Monday for sure we can get all mail caught up through Monday morning so that we'll have everything in. At this point, people are calling to, of course, check on payments, but also putting stop payments on checks because they expect it to clear within a few days, and it's taken us a couple of weeks to get caught up on the mail because we got so inundated with mail. But also, speaking of the lines, I can't express how much I appreciate the board approving the purchase of a payment box for the use of my office. It's placed out beside of Circuit Court. I was emptying that box twice a day and making notes of when we received it, but the guards were also, or security guards, were also very helpful of when people were waiting in line saying, hey, there's a payment box out here, you can use that. So a lot of people were putting payments in there. We did run into a hiccup that affected not only my office, but every other department. On, I guess, Wednesday, December 4th, our system went down. We were down about an hour and a half. So we've never cleared out a 50-person line that fast, but we did that morning because we couldn't wait on a soul. We couldn't look anything up. So between myself and I know Ms. Barker had called, and Bruce Grant was trying to get a hold of the Tyler people. So those are the things that you hope that don't happen, but they do. And there's not a lot you can do about it. But hopefully it, I don't know what occurred to create the system to go down, but it was not good at all. So, but other than that, we seem to not really have any major hiccups through tax season with the system and things like that. That was our biggest issue. We did have another problem later on that we experienced, but that was our worst because we were at crunch time. So, overall tax collections through Thursday are the numbers that I had pulled. We were at about 85%. So in what we've gotten entered in Friday, yesterday, and working on today, I would estimate we're probably at least 88 to 90% on our tax collections overall. So we're in really good shape at this point. Again, thankful for not having the tax extension. That worked out well, getting everyone back to December 5th because people were getting used to the end of December. So thank you for not extending that. But overall, I guess that's my rambling update of what's going on in our office right now. Just getting ready to kind of start the process again. But does anyone have any questions on the financial report or anything happening in the office that I didn't mention or did mention and didn't elaborate on enough?
Anybody have any questions for Lori?
Joe, you've got to give me one last punch before you leave. I know you have something.
Well, it always be good for the board to know where we are this year compared to the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And you say we're right in the ballpark of collecting. I looked at some of the charts there. And when does the state sales tax come back to? How long does it take for them to compute the third quarter?
Well, state sales tax we receive on a monthly basis. So, for example, the money we received this month was for collections during the month of October. So we're receiving it 2 months after the collection date. So we're receiving that on a monthly basis. But what the overall figures are of sales tax, that's something that I don't receive. I'm not sure. Did you get that, Ms. Barker? Okay. I'm not sure. Or is that anything that you received, Stephen? On
No,
what their
don't.
quarterly?
No.
Because we just get the report that shows what our share is for, like I said, in December, we received the month of September. But as far as what that total amount was that they based that on, I'm not sure about that.
You gauge your local economy overall by how much sales tax people are paying. And Stephen invoked the 11th commandment. For you guys that don't know the 11th commandment, it's 60 Yankee dollars. Show them a good time, get their money, get them back on the road, get them away from here. But if you look at September a year ago and September this year, you'd be able to see what the interstate corridor is doing. And some of the numbers that we see in the paper, like that Smith County had $149 million worth of business based on tourism, that has to come from sales tax
Right.
and other parts that are put together. And I guess some state office comes up with that number.
And on the sales tax, for example, with the money that we've received that was for the month of September. Well, even looking back, on the financial report here for Mr. Grant, what we received in November that would have been for September, no, October, yes, September. Get my months to go backwards here. We were down about $1,000 from what we received. The money in October that would have been for the month of August, we were up a little less than 2,000. Now, what was received in September for July, we were up 15,000. So other than that, we've kind of been close. August for June was significantly lower than what we had received last year, but it's kind of been up and down, but then it's sort of steadied out at this point. I would anticipate probably February, when we get in December's, just because of the Christmas shopping. Well, probably January and February for November and December. Hopefully will be higher than what we have been, but it's sort of just all over the place. I don't really have an explanation for it overall, because there's months that you think would be higher that really aren't any higher.
We got a new retailer that's been here basically a year, haven't we?
Yeah.
And, that seems to have stimulated other business and these things down.
It has.
We see new places being built, and that ought to reflect itself in business and economic development. Ought to show up in a year. It takes longer for industrial development, but economic development, it seems like to me there would be some way that the two officers together could track and report to the board. We're doing better than we did last year.
Right.
We're doing this much better than we were 5 years ago.
Right.
And it gives you a barometer to know where you're headed. So
Yeah.
there's your comment.
Mr. Vaught, last meeting of the year, don't let me down either.
I stood in line, but I used the ball. And I took 3 people with me. So. No, every time I was over there, y'all were getting them in and out.
And my son also used the box.
Okay.
I actually thought about having a sign made, because people were walking in, and one day I was over there and they seen the line, they just stopped. So next year you may put a sign, if you don't wanna wait in line,
Yeah.
you know, but,
Or come early. They
Yeah.
didn't know when
Well,
I
the
came.
worst
well,
thing
they
was-
were waiting on Lori one morning. I drove by on Spring Street.
Most mornings, we had lines by 8. One morning, I didn't get into the office, it was 7:45, and a guy walked, of course, I came in the side door, and he came in the main entrance off of Spring Street for us to open. So, as soon as we could get there and kind of get up and going, we were open at least by 15:20 after most mornings. It kind of depended on us getting in and trying to get everything up and going, or what needed, a loose end that needed to be tied up from the day before. But we would have lines from that point. We were open till 6 those 4 days, and I think the earliest we got to the end of the line was 10 till 5 on Monday. Other than that, it was anywhere from 5:30 to 5:45 through Thursday.
Well, and and I come a week prior to then, and there wasn't nobody. I mean, people procrastinating.
And I think a lot
waiting
were
for the
still
last minute.
expecting an announcement stating that the deadline had been extended, because we had a lot of people to ask, well, I thought it was always due in December. And we said, we're explaining, no, the last 2 years it has been, because there's been an extension because of when the taxes have come out, but December 5th is always the due date. So even with those 2 years, a lot of our taxpayers were already accustomed to having to the end of December. And then we had a lot of people coming in up to around the 15th, because used to the town due date for town of Whitfield was the 15th, and they changed theirs. Excuse me, this is the 3rd year that they've been at the 5th. And so people were thinking that ours were due the 15th, and they were the people that were in the town of Whitfield. So we're like, no, theirs are also due the 5th. You're late there too. So, it can kind of be mass confusion, but, you just try to let people know as much as you can and hope that they pay attention.
Okay.
Kind of the way it is, so, okay. Anything else?
Thank you, Lord.
Okay, thank you. You all have a good day.
You too. Miss Fay.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all
Merry
of you.
Christmas to you
I've
too.
got the year-end report.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Well, you're gonna stay retired this time.
I will stay retired this time. I'm gonna travel.
Thank you, Fay.
First of all, I'd like to thank y'all for all that you've done for my office over the years. And I've been in the courthouse since some of y'all were born, so.
Not me.
So, the courthouse might be different. I had cataract surgery, and I don't need readers, but I need to see distance, so it's the most aggravating thing that ever was. As you can see on this, everything's gone up a little bit except for Merchants Capital. And on the Merchants Capital, the reason it went down, we had a rental company that we couldn't charge Merchants Capital, and we'd been charging them Merchants Capital. And we didn't know that until I called Richmond to find out, because the man called us, and so that's the reason it's down, is because that rental company, we cannot charge Merchants Capital on rental equipment, so. But everything else is up a little bit, and I think it looks good, so.
Yeah, the real estate is still, it just shows how flat we are on real estate.
Yeah.
You like to see a 3% growth or so in your real estate. Next year will be a reassessment starting to go into effect the year afterwards, and there seems to be a little bit more action this past year on real estate. So, but obviously we're not getting much new.
And you don't have any
New construction or
new
growth.
subdivisions or anything like that, so it's not, just a house here and there, and still a lot of mobile homes and double wide, so.
But public service, which Mr. Hales often spoke about, that continue the electric lines, the utilities and things they put in there, that's obviously another large increase for us there. And personal property, you went back and double checked on those numbers. Apparently there's been a little bit of upgrading of vehicles
Yeah.
This past year.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Fay?
I don't have a question, Faye, but thank you for all your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're gonna be greatly missed, and
And I'm gonna miss everybody, and
you've become a staple in that courthouse.
Bob Cosby came in the office a couple of weeks ago, and I had some maps and stuff that he wanted, and he left, and he called me back, and he says, I got back to my office and was thinking, he said, I came here in 1973, and there's not been a day that I came to the courthouse that you weren't here. So,
Well, thank you, Fay. for all you've
thank y'all,
done.
and thank y'all for y'all's service, and take care.
Thank you. I don't see the sheriff, water committee report.
I got it here somewhere. The Water Committee met on December 17th, 2019, and makes the following recommendations. First is the approval of the non-manufacturing wastewater service agreement for Blue Beacon, Speedco, and Pilot Travel Centers.
Again, coming from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions? Mr. Barr, you want to say anything, or just, it's basic agreement?
Just agreements in place for their services.
Okay, and no questions, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny,
Aye.
Yeah.
the chair votes aye. Next item,
Second is the approval of the Peppers Ferry Regional Wastewater Treatment Authority Memorandum of Understanding for Septic Treatment.
okay, again, coming from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions?
an ongoing agreement that we keep in place with Pepper's Ferry.
Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Bob?
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. That's all for the Water Committee. Budget Committee.
Budget Committee met on December 19th, 2019, and makes the following recommendations. First one is amending and appropriating $21,150 to 3102-457707.
Again, come from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions?
This is amending and appropriating a grant that the Sheriff's Office received.
Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
and the chair votes aye. Next item.
Amending and appropriating the following. Series 2019 tax exempt bond exit 77, $23,518.38 to 8115-489923. Series 2019 taxable bond exit 77, $44,214.66 to 8115-489923. And Series 2019 taxable bond Apex, $34,740.09 to 7100-489924.
Again, come from committee, it doesn't need a second.
Mr. Chairman,
Questions?
if I might, if we will make one change on the middle one there, the 44,214, it should be 8115-489-924, not 923.
I entertain a motion to approve with amendments.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, any other questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Next item.
Amending and appropriating $27,999.09 for Baycorp Slint Brandt insurance policies for 2019-2020. A breakdown of departments' amounts attached.
Okay, again, coming from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Next item.
Is approval of change order number 20 in the amount of $32,919 for Apex Contract 2.
Okay, again, come from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, Fire and Rescue Committee.
Our rescue committee met at Barron Springs and then met later here. Our rescue committee met on December 16th, recommends rejection to one and only tested bid received and to rebid the work in an attempt to generate more bids. The actual bid they got was not in compliance with the bid request, so it was an easy move to reject them all.
Okay. Come from committee, it doesn't need a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So rejected. Anything else nothing else from the Fire and Rescue? County Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple of items here for you. The first item is a draft resolution for equal taxing authority for Virginia counties. Obviously, it's been a push for ours for several years. It is also the top priority for VACO this year in their legislative agenda. So what you have before you is a draft resolution for your consideration for equal taxing authority.
And I'd say I've been going to Richmond for the past several years and appearing before the Senate and House Finance Committees on this. We finally got it to a vote last year, which it had a tie vote in the House, and even got a commitment out of Senator Hanger last year that he was going to bring forth legislation this year. So we'll see where it goes, but it is a big push at VACO. to get equal taxing authority where the county can tax the same as cities and towns. It'll be a big help to the counties, where we can spread our revenue out over more things that we can tax instead of putting all the burden upon the landowners in the county and personal property. And hopefully, if it does pass and we get the authority, we can keep our county taxes low.
I would really ask that incoming board and Mr. Mayor, I believe in safe time. The face time that Tim has spent going down there and getting the cold shoulder and getting ignored and then getting to where his lease got into the committee meetings. If you could get him to go with y'all, and you don't have to register as a lobbyist unless you're throwing money around like a drunken sailor, and he's not gonna do that. But just the fact of having him in the General Assembly building would help. And if he would, I think for sure, he would, dedicate a little bit more time on something he's worked on for 6 years. And I highly recommend that you consider taking him to Richmond. And you can keep him on a leash if you need to, but, he would do a lot of good in the General Assembly building this year. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend adoption of the resolution. I know the last number on your resolution was 41, so I would assume this is 42. What's the number on your resolution, Charlie?
39.
What's on yours? 40.
Yeah, 41, so it'd be
41.
2019, 42.
I entertain adopting resolution 2019-42.
I'll make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? Hear none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution so adopted.
Next item, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Stowers has been working with Virginia Logos for the proposal to put Apex signs on the interstate. In your package is a list of their proposal showing the locations of the signs and the signs. They have provided Wythe County with a cost estimate of $23,885.52 for the fabrication and installation of brown directional signs to the Apex Center. There'll be 2 signs on the interstate, 1 in each direction, 1 sign on each exit ramp, and 1 sign at the intersection of Ready Mix and Chapman Road. The proposal, like I said, is attached for your review.
And it's 23,000 what?
$23,885.52. We have requested for 1 modification. They have Apex capitalized. We think Apex should be all capitalized, APEX, capitalized all the way across it. So we will be sending that back into them to make that modification, to change it to all caps for the Apex.
Put that form of motion to approve this money is available through the capital funding that's already appropriate, correct?
Yes, sir. We just need a motion to execute this agreement for $23,885.52.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I
Here.
just have a statement. I think it's a smart thing to do. That's one of the worst, that's one of the biggest complaints I get is you can't find it, can't get to it. Don't know how to get it, so maybe this will help.
Okay, hear nothing else, do a roll call vote, Mr. Horning,
Uh,
Aye.
No.
and the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the only action items that I have on my agenda. I did provide just some information to you all on other items. I'll just briefly mention them. Wythe County Rescue Squad, Wytheville Fire and Rescue, the Fire and Rescue Committee in the town have met and are still trying to work through agreements for their future Withfield Fire and Rescue. One of the most important comments that did come out of that meeting is that they did indicate their willingness to cover the entire service area that With County Rescue Squad is currently covering. Because if they were not covering that area, we would need to keep a With County Rescue Squad or entity or similar entity functioning in order to cover the central part of the county. There was a sort of a draft framework for a memorandum of agreement. Mr. Farthing and Mr. Menerick from the town will be drafting and working through that agreement, and then the two boards will have the final say into the actual agreement language and into the actual funding amounts and things like that. So unless there's any questions about it, just giving you that for informational purposes.
Since I'm not gonna be around, I'd like to make a point that I didn't agree with the amount of initial funding that town wants. And hopefully the new board will be armed with the right information and scrutinize that startup cost. Now, we've got good numbers. We know what it costs to operate that organization. It's a complicated process, and it's only going to get more complicated as the town provides services full-time with hired staff. They've got expenses, I realize that, but I'm not sure that the county ought to pay that amount of money to help them through the transition. So, all I have to say about it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd give you another Christmas present, Joe. I agree with you on those numbers. I think that, my comment was, I understand the startup cost, but we're giving them about $500,000 worth of ambulances, so.
We're letting them use them.
The next item is the Joint Public Service Authority, just letting you know they have, southern end of their building is in need of repair. Bids have been received. They have awarded, the bid for $248,000. All work is scheduled to take place on weekends, so not to impact operation of the facility Monday through Friday. There may be some times where they don't have the full layout of what they have now, and they'll not be able to just push trash quite as hard. They may have to do more picking it up with the bucket and dumping it into bins and stuff until they get operational, but they are proceeding with that, just letting you all know about that project ongoing. Grouse Ridge Road project, Chairman asked me about this one earlier. Construction still has not started. I am regularly in contact with VDOT and Enbridge, the National Natural Gas Company, about the status of the agreement between the two entities. The citizens are continuing to suffer from a poorly maintained road due to the inability of VDOT and Enbridge to finalize an agreement for the subrogation of rights on the right-of-way where the gas line crosses under. I've been asking VDOT to go ahead and at least construct the road up to where the gas line goes under the road, to at least get that part, because that takes it through the dip and back up through the very bad parts of what needs to be constructed. I am regularly in contact with a representative that we're talking to from Enbridge, and letting him know of the continued concerns that we are receiving here and the individuals that really need that road repaired, and copying them on emails, both parties on all emails received regarding this matter. So I did get confirmation from him at the end of last week that the attorneys are in negotiations again on the final agreement, and hopefully we can get that finalized. So just letting you all know.
Steve, this didn't come up because we didn't have a construction meeting, but is the problem where it crosses on the hill, where the gas line actually goes under the
Yes,
right of way?
it's nothing but a subrogation of rights as to where the gas line runs under the road, who's liable for what and responsible for what in that.
Well, you know, we've worked with, the previous boards have worked with this problem for over 20 years. I worked on it for 8 on with. That's the most ridiculous thing for that to be held up over. We know if it blows up, who's gonna fix it, don't we?
VDOT. Well, the natural gas line, natural gas will fix it. The road messes up, VDOT's gonna fix it. Yeah, it's agreement between them. We have no input into this agreement. We don't sign it, we don't execute it. It is an agreement between VDOT and Enbridge.
Well, what I'm asking you to do is please be the mediaries that says, guys, if you hung up on this little piece, let's add an 8-inch reinforced slab. It would be a bridge on dirt, but it would keep any impacts off that line. And maybe that'll get them off the dead center. This has been going on for what now, a year?
The agreement's probably been going on for 6 months. Yeah.
You know, it would help drastically if VDOT would want to get a job number assigned to that thing.
That's exactly what I requested.
So they can maintain it.
Yep.
Those people are suffering every day. They have to try to go in and out
Yep.
there.
That's exactly what I was asking for, and that's what our local office is trying to do. They're trying to go ahead and get Central to go ahead and assign it a number so they can start charging work to it. But Central at this point in time will not assign that number because the agreement's not executed, which I think is ludicrous.
It's Central, Bristol.
Richmond.
That's not good. Thank you.
I would ask you, and I can't think of the lady's name at Food Line that talked to me yesterday about it, but just keep the people informed down there what's going on. And
Yeah.
I think she said she'd emailed you, but she hadn't heard anything back from you.
I'll check and see. I've been in touch with several people from down there.
Maybe you could take the new board on a tour down there and have them all ride in the black vehicle with you and see how bad this thing really is, and we've got good tax base there.
I mean, I understand, Mateo, but it's not a board issue. It's not, I mean, it's everything. We've done everything. We've got everything in place. We got the ordinance in place. And I'm talking to VDOT and the gas company weekly, but just because I'm saying, and I'm copying them, one of the health agencies was talking about not going back into that area, and I copied Enbridge and VDOT on it both, and I said, this is how bad the situation is. We've got people that can't get service. Well, you all quit fighting and take care of the issues so that people can get a road fixed in there.
What's the gas company's issue?
It all came down to the language in the agreement, and I don't know what that came down to. From what they indicated to me, they had an agreement worked out with VDOT on the language. And when it got reviewed by the Attorney General's office, it got rejected. And so now they don't agree with the change that the Attorney General's office recommended. So that is the discussion between the attorneys there. Next item is Ricky Road. Good news there. We have received confirmation from Rural Development that all matters are in order. And they're requesting approval from Richmond for us to go ahead and schedule unclosing and proceed with requesting construction bids. So Mr. McRoberts will be pleased to see that project underway.
That's about an 8-year deal.
Yep. The Apex and Exit 77 Development Area bond closing, we did receive the funds on Thursday, December 19th for those projects. And last item, Courthouse Complex Phone System, a request for proposal was drafted, been sent out to comments to all constitutional officers and others, and we'll be going out to bid and put get a new courthouse phone system in. Mr. Chairman, that's all that I have.
What's the status of the civil engineering work on the site development? For the additional lots and road and water?
They have just sent us a proposal that came in last week, at the end of the week, following board preparation, whatever. They have sent us a proposal. They are going to have to survey an additional area down along the interstates and Chapman Road in order to finalize what is needed for VDOT for the turn lanes down through there. So they have sent that in. Cost on that is $3,500 to do the additional work that is needed in order to get the turn lanes in down there.
The rest of that design is ready to go.
Everything else is ready other than the turn lanes and things down there. They've got the rest laid out and designed down through there. Stormwater area, obviously the width of this turn lane and everything affects where that stormwater is in that area in the bottom.
Have they transmitted those drawings to the county yet?
We've gotten the rough drawings, yes, that we've shared with you all, but not the final drawings.
Does that money need to be amended and appropriate for them to
Actually, if
continue?
you all want to go ahead and approve that action to approve the amendment to the agreement, it doesn't have to be amended and appropriate. There's enough money in the budget, but if you all want to approve that as an additional $3,500 for their work.
It's gotta be done, so, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a second.
Okay,
Have a motion, and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
yeah,
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Anything else, Mr. Bear?
No, sir, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Chairman, I do, if I might. Has there been anything done on the Adrian Park playground facility?
Nothing, no action's done on it yet. Buildings and Grounds obviously toured it and looked at it. Mr. Williams is working on proposals, and will be working on getting some proposals to do it by sections. And that will be a budget item in next year's budget for capital funds to be put into replacement of parts of the Adrian Park playground.
Okay, how about the Burn Springs?
Still working, have talked with a lady, I've got in touch and know the lady that handles the real estate for them, and we need to meet with her and Mr. Bottomley. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks and go through that discussion down there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Fawley?
Just one item for you this morning. I sent you an email that I received late last night from the Wagstaff Group on the opioid litigation. A small pharmaceutical company had filed a bankruptcy case, and they had just recommended to vote in favor of the reorganization plan for that company, and I agree with that recommendation. It may help set a precedent for any future companies that might file a bankruptcy case to treat the local government claims differently than all the other claims, give them a little bit higher priority, is what seems to be the message from the Wagstaff firm. So we don't have to do anything as long as we agree with their recommendation. So just wanted to point that out to you. Make sure you read through that if you get a chance today or tomorrow, and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, Supervisors Report. Mr. Ball?
Mr. Baird, can you reach out to the superintendent or whoever your contact is at the jail? Apparently they had a lot of state responsible inmates picked up all at one time, which is good for the county, but we've lost our trustees and all the exits, number 11, Route 90, 94, they're full of trash, and I know that's, I'll carry on Mr. Hale's torch on the trash pickup, because it really has made a difference, and you miss it when they're not doing it, but just kind of see if we can get a timeline of when we're gonna have the trustees back.
Certainly will.
And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Mr. Hale, I'm gonna echo what Coy said earlier. I'm gonna miss you on this board. And one of the biggest questions I get is people ask if we get along, and I tell people that we get along great when we're not talking about things that we disagree on.
Told me one time that he would agree with me, except we would both be wrong.
But I've enjoyed our time together. I've enjoyed our time in Richmond together, and except for when you about got me in a fight. because somebody thought you were Bernie Sanders. But I'm definitely gonna miss you, and I wish you the best. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Lester West Whittle.
The only thing I've got is I've enjoyed my time on the board, and I've enjoyed working with each of you.
Okay, Fort Chisholm District, Mr. Hale.
Stephen's trash, it is a problem, but part of it's our problem. Do you know why that fence had been finished between the property down there? That the bank has a lot of trash, and I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that ought to be the contractor's responsibility that's putting the fence up. I don't know why the fence isn't finished.
I'll check with them and see. I do not know.
If we've run out of parts,
Yeah.
something's wrong, because there was certainly enough parts there to put that fence back together. And they're not quite to the top of the slope there. And we've had really good weather,
Yeah.
but no progress has been made. And then lastly, I've put in a punch to you for Max Meadows. You've had enough history now on the lights and community field down there. Go back and see what we're paying in electric bill, and I'll ask Mr. McRoberts to, and Mr. Smith, when I talk to him, to go back and put in the foot candles that we asked for. Remember, you and I had a conversation that if that cut in half didn't do the job, that AET would come in and upgrade the fixtures. Well, I know it's all the way across the county for you, but it's a whole lot better than it was. It's 1,000% better than it was, but it's not adequate. We just don't have the light that we could have gotten with those that we recommended originally. And hopefully by spring you can work that out, get adequate lighting on that community field. That field probably costs the county less to maintain than any high-use facility we got. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
The only other thing we maintain like that, Mr. Hale, is Ager Park.
And it's bigger, so obviously it takes longer to mow it and maintain it. But you get a lot of community support down there for building new things like the toilet and the stage roof. And thank Billy for getting that stage roof on before it destroyed the building. But that's a tremendous cheap facility for the county. We pay the railroad virtually nothing for their part. And if in the fall and in the spring, the amount of people that use that facility is phenomenal. And it's good to have something working right in Max Meadows, and that field works really well. Thank you.
Lead mines, Mr. McRoberts.
I do have a couple. I have, especially the 35-mile zone in lower end of Avenue. And I had a call the other day. The trash piled up there on the road that goes down to Baker, used to go down to Baker's Chapel Church that they cut off when they built the new road.
Okay.
Sheffy School Road.
I don't know what that road is. And there's one saying I probably will never, ever forget. He used to say this, and I'd say, "Oh, Lord, we'll be here till dinner time." And he'd say, "Hey, let's talk about it." Thank you, Jeff.
Speedball, Mr. Horny.
I don't have anything that anybody's complained about. I do want to say it's been a pleasure to serve with you three, and I will definitely miss you. Joe, you're obviously a wealth of knowledge. People always say, well, he sits up there and sleeps, and I tell them, if he's never asleep, I'll guarantee you that, and the man knows more than probably most encyclopedias know. It's been a pleasure. We'll miss y'all.
Thank you, Gene. I have nothing. Grocery Grove's the only thing I had to bring up. In the trash, I mean, I've noticed on Chapman Road, which somebody lost 2 big trash bags of cans. And, but somebody did come back, somebody come and got them.
And I'll mention one thing on trash, just, it's another item that's been discussed at the JPSA. The JPSA is talking about possibly looking at some way set up of taking tires there at their facility, for a fee. And we are working with them where they would take the tires from there to have them disposed of. Now, we do have a place in Wythe County that has contacted me that has just started doing shredding of tires down in the Barron Springs area, and is interested in obtaining tires for that, and then they have a place where they dispose of those or sell those for use of coverage. So, because right now, obviously, you can take commercial or vehicle tires to the convenience centers, but there's really nowhere to take, other than our tire collection days, nowhere to take truck tires or big tires. For example, right across from Lover's Lane on Pepper's Ferry Road is a large recap off one of those double wide truck tires laying there. Well, if I would go by and pick that up, which VDOT should be going by and pick it up, but if I were to pick that up, I can't take it to the convenience center, I can't take it to the transfer station. Where do I take that tire? So if the transfer station would at least take the tire, it costs me whatever, $4, $5, whatever the fee may be to get rid of that tire, at least we'd have a collection center in lieu of just also doing our tire collection event. But the JPSA is looking at that, see what may be feasible there in the process.
What does VDOT do with it? I mean, they're all the time on Chapman Road, tires laying up on the bank.
I'm assuming they collect them and then take them to a place like this shredding center and pay for disposal of it.
Okay, you have anything else, Gene? Okay, well, never mind. Okay, we'll go into new business. Entertain a motion to approve our consent calendar.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any questions on our consent calendar? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Next item is fiscal year 20 budget expenditure, third quarter appropriations. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Mount Rogers Planning District Commission Fiscal Report for year 19. You have in front of you any questions before we accept their financial statements? Hear none, I'll entertain a motion to accept their financial statements.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Revenue Quality Coalition.
Mr. Chairman, last year, and included in your package is a copy of the letter from last year. You all approved funding in the amount for John Stirrup and Alcade and Fay to form the Revenue Equity Coalition that went to Richmond and lobbied on behalf of the Equal Taxing Authority. The amount, like I said, is $3,000. Mr. Stirrup has contacted us again this year to see if we are interested in remaining as a member of that coalition. Ms. Cummings checked with them, and I believe the last information right now is at 3 localities, Ms. Cummings, is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's what he
3 localities have currently agreed. They are hoping to get up to 10. I didn't know if you all wanted to make a motion to join the coalition contingent upon them reaching a certain number or mass in order to do so.
And I will say firsthand knowledge that they were down there working. He was down there working. When I was down there for several days, and he was making his rounds to every senator and delegate, trying to drum up support for it. And yeah, I agree with it. I think we should go ahead and approve the 3,000. It's not gonna hurt. Every voice helps down there. More people that's talking for approval of it, the better chances we have. So I entertain a motion. Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, I would request that motion also indicate to amend and appropriate $3,000 to the Board of Supervisors Professional Services Fund.
You agree with that? Mr. Hale, you made the motion. Mr. Bob, you
I
agree
do.
to second it? Okay, is there any other questions? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Bob?
Aye.
Matt,
The chair votes aye.
I still think you can be a big help in getting it out of committee. We have a chance once you get something out of committee. And it's been an educational process that you had to get more and more delegates to realize how unfair it is. We fought a major fight with England over taxation without representation. And we got 2 counties that are allowed to do this, and they're both in northern Virginia. And the rest of the counties can't do it, so I don't understand why this has took so long to get it out of committee and get it done.
Well,
But let's get it done. It would really help the new board maintain stability with financials.
Yeah, I don't know if they've named the chairmans of the committees yet or not. I haven't looked, but don't know who they'll be. But anyway, is there anything else Mr. Berry needs to come before we go into closed session?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman, I do not believe so.
I entertain a motion to go into closed session under Code Section 2.2-3711A5, the discussion of prospective industry.
I make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Mr. Chairman, before we vote, I would ask if Mr. Cook be allowed to attend closed session
Yes,
due to what we're discussing.
I've done talked to Mr. Bear about that. Yes, Mr. Cook, you come on back. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're now in closed session. I entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Have a second. The motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are now out of closed session. Mr. Lester, you want to read certification?
Whereas the Worth County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Worth County Board of Supervisors that such a meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Worth County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Worth County Board of Supervisors.
I have a second on ratifying the resolution.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Do a roll call vote. Mr. Revolt?
Aye.
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Mr. Chairman, I would request that the board make a motion authorizing the county administrator to sign any necessary documents for an undisclosed industry in compliance with the term sheet review.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any more comments or questions? Hear none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Anything else come forward the board at this time?
Mr. Chairman, would recommend a second motion to authorize the county administrator to sign any deed necessary required to transfer property to the Joint Industrial Development Authority.
Deed and documents that may be required to transfer land to the JIDA for the purpose of transferring land to the JIDA for economic development.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Have a second. Any questions? Hear none, we'll do another roll call vote. Mr. Vaught?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Anything else come forward the board at this time?
Mr. Chairman, two additional items just for information. Saw the one laying there. In your box are the audits for 2019 that we received last week for Wythe County. Unqualified audit, so everything does look good there. You also have the letter from the auditing firm there with it. We'll get the copy of the audits to the new board members as well. And then Mr. Stone will be scheduled for a meeting next year to come to the board and make a presentation on the audit. The only other item I've got is on the holiday schedule. Of course, I emailed all of you, everybody sort of had different holiday schedules. The office is scheduled to be closed next Wednesday, January 1st. Constitutional offices in court are closed on the 31st and the 1st. So that's the holiday schedule.
Mr. Bear, do we need to, or is there a recommendation of giving the county employees the 31st off?
I don't think they would take offense to that at all because of the courts and the others being closed on the 31st. I would welcome that motion, sir.
I'll make that motion that we give the county employees the 31st off.
Have a second.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion?
Except for Stephen.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I thank y'all staff, greatly appreciate that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, nothing else coming forward the board at this time. We are adjourned.